Good morning, Heat Nation, folks, folkettes, and everything in between and beyond. Let's still keep saying that. I don't care. That's just the way it is. I understand people have their wants and needs. Um, I lost my voice, and that's why I couldn't record before. I actually want to record my worthless of a penny video, but I think that's kind of worthless at this point, and I'll tell you why. We can consider this one the worthless of a penny, but we'll see. Normally when I do that, I give a little bit of work for Raf to edit it, and sometimes we get some interesting things. But yeah, want to definitely talk about getting Heat after 45 games, but it's already been 46 games, and tonight is going to be our 47th game against the Spurs, the under 500 Spurs, the 12th seed in the West Spurs, the Spurs that only got 20 wins and 24 losses versus the Miami Heat. 2 games played more than them, but at 50%, 23-23. Of course, there are a lot of things to talk about, but let's just first of all talk about the previous game against Cavaliers. So first of all, I was there to watch the Miami Heat against the Magic, and after watching Jimmy Butler's game winner against the Chicago Bulls last December of last year, the year before that, of 2023. This was the most exciting game. Absolutely. There is only one little detail, is that we also had the privilege, because of, again, a friend of ours, to actually be closer to the players. So I was there. I saw, didn't get to see Spo, didn't get to see most of the players, but those that were there for a good half hour were Tyler Herro, Nikola Jovic, and then afterwards we got to see Burks and Highsmith. Also got to see Isaiah Stevens practicing his shots, and it was a great environment. It didn't feel like they were heavy or anything of the sorts. It just felt like they wanted to play, and they were excited for playing. But that goes for Nikola Jovic. That goes for Tyler Herro, our all-star Tyler Herro, much deserved. Whoever wants to put Trey above Tyler Herro right now doesn't understand that there is only one reason we are a 500 team, and that's because Tyler Herro exists. Of course, Tyler Herro and Bam coming up big, and the lineup also that was fascinating to watch, which included Jovic, Ware, and Bam at the same time, right? And then I also got to see Rozier in first hand. And then I watched the game against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and sure enough, Rozier actually does a little bit more on that game. But the one thing that I say is this. Yes, the Magic have sucked, but they've also been a tough matchup for us. We lost the first game embarrassingly. Ended up not being such a big score because of trash time scores, but that's it. Otherwise, it would have been, a huge blowout. Lost the second game, then won the third game 89-88, so 1 point. And then we finally got him, in a situation that we came back, we did well, and we won. So it was an exciting game to watch, but it wasn't an easy one, as expected, by the way, as expected. It was not going to be an easy one, as expected, regardless of how much a lot of people think that this team should be, because of its history, because of the tradition that the Miami Heat has always brought. This team should always be competitive. The reality is, you have watched a lot of seasons that were much worse than this one, at least up to this point. This season is not one of the worst seasons you've watched before and since LeBron, before and since Wade, for those who are older and watch the Heat for longer time. I have my own history. I don't share it very often because I don't want to talk about myself. But what I can tell you is that this is not by far the worst team that you've seen play. There are some interesting decisions again by Spo, for example. if it works so well against the Magic, why not repeat it? That's the same thing, by the way, that the Five Reasons Sports guys said. So when I say something that I've heard before, even though I think of it, I have to give credit where credit is due, right? That's what I heard them say. The same thing. Why they didn't repeat the same lineup against a team that has the bigs that the Cavs have. I mean, basically, the Cavs were always a bad matchup against us, meaning we never had it easy against the Cavaliers. But that doesn't mean that we have to have it. We have to have it so badly. And I think that for most of the game, we actually were close. But it's like the Nuggets. Only this game was for that, right? Last game we won against them. Jimmy Butler was still quote unquote joyful playing with the Miami Heat. So he won against Cavaliers. We are one of the 9 teams that beat them. One of the few teams. I think 5 or 6 teams beat them, because a couple of teams beat them more than once. But in terms of the matchup against Cavaliers, it's never been a good matchup, and we actually hung in there. But again, right? Why not put Ware, Bam, and Nico playing at the same time to close the game? But at the same time, there was no close in the game, right? After they opened such a large point differential against us, there wasn't much that we could do. Now, as far as the Spurs go, it's of course a much better matchup, right? We won the last game very well, right, by 21 points, 128 to 107. We saw that Ware dominated against Wemby. It wasn't that long ago. So we are going to be on the road for the next 4 games, right? And hopefully we're going to be able to be okay. The next 4 games being against, let me check. What did I do here? They're going to be against the Spurs, against the Bulls, and then, oh my God, why is this so badly done? The 76ers and the Nets. So theoretically, we have 2 teams there, or 3 teams in this stretch 4 that are very, very, very winnable, and one that is just iffy. But again, right, what I'm going to say also comes from Andy Nichols, but these are his nickels. So first of all, of course, winning against the Cavaliers would have been amazing, but it is the number 1 team in the league. It's right there with the Thunder. Those are teams that we are not expected to win because we're not in the same tier as them. And even though, again, fans get disappointed, I understand. Fans get sad, I understand. We really can't get mad at losing against the Cavaliers. Can't get mad at losing against the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Celtics. There's so many teams. And even though, again, I mentioned the Celtics, and I even want to gag when I say it, sorry. It's nothing to do with the people, okay? It's just what the team is. I hate them. Can't do anything about it. So, obviously, I would love to say, yeah, let's go Heat. We can do that. From what I've seen, we're not even close to the tier of the Bucks when the Bucks are clicking. And we don't know what's going to happen with Jimmy Butler yet. At least I haven't seen any breaking news. Maybe as I'm recording this, something happened, but I don't think so. We know that he's not going to be a distraction anytime soon, at least not for sure for this road trip. So that's also part of it. In terms of his presence in the locker room, I also don't know how much that was, because the players themselves said they were used to it. But at the same time, I don't know how much the presence is the problem. I think the problem is, as Andy Nichols said, the looming trade deadline. Because a lot of players understand that they might be included in a package with Jimmy Butler. And then, as Jimmy Butler posts this symbolic gesture of being unemployed and being offered a job at DoorDash, the owner of, it's going to be a good franchise. I trust that's going to be a good franchise of coffee, and a millionaire, poor guy, is out of work. So amid all of that, then we hear about Rozier's FBI investigation for bet related to his time in Charlotte in 2023. And I hear people say, oh, but that was when he was with the Charlotte. That's not with us. Bro, the only way to guarantee a bet is to go under. You can't guarantee an over. You can't say, today I'm going to score this amount of points to get this amount of boards. And there was a time, right, in a game in which I think it was Rozier arguing with Bam about who's going to get a rebound. That's what something that Raf brought up, and I remember that clearly. And he was saying, maybe because he wanted to get a board, maybe because he wanted to get that over. But dude, the overs you can't guarantee. You can guarantee the unders. And there's one thing that Rozier has been for us is under. And I don't know, man. That FBI investigation could very well save us from this horrific trade that we made and actually give us a pick back. I don't know how the NBA works on that front. I haven't seen anyone comment on it. Really, I haven't seen anyone serious. I think I've seen Chris Hayes' tweet. That's all. I haven't seen anybody else comment on it, so I don't know if that's just because I've been so busy or what, but I haven't seen anybody comment on it. So in any case, I wanted to just basically say there's no bad blood in terms of losing to the Cavaliers. The looming trade deadline is definitely something that affects people. Ware is a very exciting Rookie of the Year prospect for the Miami Heat. Tyler Herro gets his nod as a drafted player, making it to the All-Star game, which is an amazing accolade for him. Definitely something that he deserves obviously as a reserve, but that's exactly where you are, Tyler. That's exactly where you are. Boy wonder. I doubted you myself. There were times that I myself succumbed to the pressure of saying, yeah, man, you're not the man. You can't carry the team on your back. But as Matt Hannifin actually says, success is not linear. Its progress and growth are not linear when it comes to player development. So players like Jaime Jaquez Jr., who one of my students, without even knowing the team, says he sucks. He doesn't suck, but he's definitely not having a good year. And he definitely needs to learn some new skills because obviously his old skills are already very well known around the league. We also have issues that we may even have great defenders on the team. Obviously mentioning the locksmith, but his offensive bag is so poor that we are, in trouble. We don't, and we also, again, I would like to see Herro play more off the ball. So there are a lot of things that are very interesting about this team. I think this team is unfinished for this season, and it's completely unfinished until at least next season, probably even the next one after that. Meaning 25-26 is still not the season that I expect this team to be what I think it will be for the next few years, but that could be it. Because honestly, these players, they're young, but they're not getting any younger. You blink your eye and they're 30. So we gotta, there's definitely a window there that needs to be respected. And I do think that we are going to pull off an identity, whatever that identity is, whether or not we can make it to the finals again, whether or not we can get a ring. Those are completely different questions. There's no way to know. There's no way to know anything about even how the NBA landscape is going to be for that so expected. It's not just for 2031, as I heard Amir from the Team to Beat say, but there's a landscape of the summer of 26. We don't know what that's going to look like, right? In any which case, that's pretty much what I have. I expect us to be competitive tonight, hopefully. I expect us to be competitive. I expect us to not embarrass us too much. But the truth is, even that, not good. Because I can't expect anything from a team that is incomplete. It's basically what they are, incomplete. I'm just recording this because my voice went back and I had to comment about all those things that are happening, meaning nothing happening with Butler. Rozier's trade may be canceled. We don't know what's going to happen. We obviously lost to the Cavaliers, not a big deal. Playing against the Spurs, losing against them is going to be more of a big deal. But again, shouldn't. Not this season. It shouldn't. We have to make the playoffs. We do. I think we still do have to make the playoffs. It's not that difficult to make the play-ins. About the playoffs, we don't know. Really don't know. We don't know what's going to happen after February 6th. So we have to be vigilant. And congratulations, Tyler, for making an all-star. Everyone stay safe, stay dry, stay as happy as possible. It's very complicated world of ours. And let's go Heat.